Coming up this week on the County Line, we take you to an ideal place for rock climbing enthusiasts.
Also this week, we tell you where to find some of the best Italian food in the area.
The County Line
starts now.
Welcome to tonight's edition of the County Line. I'm Lee Biermeyer.
Good evening, and I'm Mike Hazlett. Endurance and agility are associated with many sports. Rock climbing takes us to a new level with its adventurous heights. Pennsylvania's terrain makes for ideal locations for climbing enthusiasts. County Line reporter Jeff Hauser shows us a location right in our backyard.
It is the ultimate form of adventure, a test of strength, endurance, and creativity. It is a sport of rock climbing.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Very nice.
There are many places in western Pennsylvania to climb actual rock. Here at McConnell's Mill, enthusiasts come face to face with Mother Nature's strongest substance. You don't need to be extremely fit to reach the top. Climbing is all about positioning and using your legs to push on upward. When you fall, and you will fall, your belayer holds you in place with the rope. Climbing outdoors is much different from climbing indoors.
So if you can't see by colors what a climbing hold looks like. And so an indoor climbing wall has red and blue and green climbing holds, but climbing outside is natural rock that you have to learn how to read and how to see where do I put my hands, where do I put my feet. So some things are similar. It's definitely can be more of a challenge coming outside. And I enjoy getting out as much as I can. Climbing is one of my favorite activities to do.
To many, rock climbing is an embracing sport. At McConnell's Mill State Park in Lawrence County, I'm Jeffrey Hauser reporting for the County Line.
With the spring weather rapidly moving in, activities like rock climbing and hiking can be found just around the corner. McConnell's Mill State Park hosts 9 miles of trails, fishing anywhere along the Slippery Rock Creek, and 2 climbing and rappelling areas. The climbing areas are open to equipped and experienced climbers. You can enjoy the vast park that spans over 2,500 acres from sunrise to sunset year-round. For more information on McConnell's Mill and other PA state parks, go to the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources website.
Thanks to the Titan swimming and diving program, it is well known that Westminster has a natatorium, but there is a different type of swimming that goes on besides freestyle and the backstroke. The college offers a scuba diving class once a year. The County Line's Ashley Durham went down to the campus pool to learn more about this fun and exhilarating course.
Art school like Westminster College, many different classes are offered. From forensic science to fantasy folklore fiction, we really have it all. But what if you're looking for something a little more on the adventurous side? Maybe something that involves the deep blue? Well, a certain class has just that, SCUBA at WC. To learn more about this class, I had to take a trip down to our field house to get the scoop on how something like this very different swimming course even got its start. The campus natatorium houses the class as well as making itself open to students on campus. Big events like Greek Week swimming and just a fun swim in the pool take place all the time. But it is also the home of our well-respected swim team, sporting their several titles and personalities. In this case, however, we want to focus on the man of the hour, class instructor, Scuba Scott. I sat down with Scott to discuss just how Westminster got a hold of such a rare course.
I had been teaching here at Westminster prior to me taking over the contract as part of the physical education curriculum to the student population. And he was more or less getting out of the diving business and had approached me about buying him out. And part of buying him out, he introduced me to the people in the physical education department, and I interviewed to take over the position here in teaching scuba. And that was 13 years ago in 1997. That was a very good relationship that started off then and continues through today.
Of course, Scott doesn't do it alone. His crew from the appropriately named Scott SCUBA actually come down to the school to assist in teaching the course. I asked Scott just how his business got its start in small-town Freeport, Pennsylvania.
We got started in business in 1992, and we started on a shoestring budget without taking out a lot of extra money that would need to be paid back. Pretty much everything that we had in inventory was on display. I was able to start into a small-town business that my father owned the building, and with that it gave us the ability to minimize our expenses in the startup and to try to basically take all of our profits and turn them back into the business and allow it to grow and to get a good start.
Now, I don't know if you're aware, but Pennsylvania is a landlocked state. That means no major oceans in the area, folks. So I definitely had to ask the question, why teach scuba in a landlocked area like Pennsylvania?
So not only is it landlocked, but it's seasonal. And we run through the 4 seasons, and we run in an area where we don't have a large body of water. However, there is quite a population base that is not living on the coast and still has an interest in scuba. Even though they may wish to travel to more exotic locations like the Caribbean or Florida or the South Pacific, or even going out to the East Coast to go wreck diving or into the Great Lakes to the north, people in their home area like to get the qualification to be involved in diving and then have a place to practice that is closer to their home.
With Scott being such an expert, I had to ask where a guy like him likes to dive in the area and places a little further beyond county lines.
We do have a lake. It's located about 12 miles from here by the prime outlets. It's 10 acres of water. We've developed it for diving with entry points and attractions in the water, and there are a lot of those lakes in this area. There are commercially run quarries in the tri-state area. There are probably 18 or more of them that are designed by divers for divers to have a place to participate in their activity. And of course in the more exotic locations such as the Caribbean Basin or in the Pacific or the Indian Ocean and literally all around the world.
For my final question, I decided to ask Scott how he feels about teaching in a facility like Westminster. His answer was simple and kind of perfect.
Proud to tell people when I talk to them about diving and about my history in diving that I teach at Westminster College. I feel as though it is a prestigious facility that has a very good reputation both in the area and beyond the area of Pennsylvania, and I feel as though it is actually giving me a better name in my business by having the teaching at Westminster College as part of what I'm able to do. So I've met a lot of great people. I've had a lot of great kids coming through the classes, and I'm proud to say that I am associated with the facility.
For the County Line, I'm Ashley Durham.
Now, Lee, that looks like a lot of fun. And with your swimming background, have you ever done any scuba diving?
Well, to tell you the truth, Hayes, I never dabbled in it, but I did snorkel once. What do you think of it?
I think we'll count that as one. I think we'll give 1 point for that.
All right, good, good. Coming up next on the County Line, we catch up with local musician J.D. Eicher.
And we also take a look at Westminster's Gospel Choir. Stay tuned. More County Line is coming up.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
Local artist J.D. Eicher has seen success in the tough world of the music industry since graduating from Westminster College. JD and his band recently put out their second album, Shifting, and it is now available on iTunes. The County Line's Jeff Klein catches up with JD to talk music.
Last year, we said goodbye to graduate J.D. Eicher. It's been about a year since I caught up with him. He has a new album out called Shifting, and his band seems to be doing rather well and plans to stick together. Compared to his first album, this sophomore album has a little bit of a change to it, especially in genre. In his first album, he went for a more indie sound. However, his second album is a little different from his first. J.D. describes the change that he made and why he made it.
It kind of takes a change. We appropriately named it Shifting. I think it does have a little bit of a different sound about it. The last album was very much an indie record, and this one is a little more pop, a little more refined sound.
Since it's been about a year since he's graduated, I asked JD if he actually misses classes. Surprisingly, he explains to me that he actually does.
I definitely miss college. I would love to do another 4 years. It's a good time. I miss a lot of it. I actually miss some taking classes and stuff. I never thought I'd say that, but I actually miss learning new things.
Managing a band is a tough and tedious job for JD, so I asked him if he was ever considering getting signed by a label or if he ever wanted to get a manager. JD says that if he gets the right deal, he may consider.
If the right opportunity comes along, we're definitely going to look at it because it's very time consuming to run a band, as a full-time venture and stuff.
JD tells me that most of his work nowadays is mostly with the band, and on the side he also teaches guitar.
Yeah, I'm pretty much full-time musician. I teach guitar lessons a couple days a week to kind of help supplement my income and all that. But music is kind of the full-time gig right now for sure.
And I can feel it coming back to me now. I can feel it coming back to me now. And all my memories and all my reasons seem so fade.
And as far as members go, the Goodnights have seen some transitions. We're seeing some new faces. JD explains why some musicians had to leave and talks about the new members.
We used to have two band members, a violinist named Lou and a bassist named Jordan. And, the band's kind of been through some interesting transitions, but as we graduated from college, there were some tough choices had to be made, about whether we were going to pursue the music on more of a full-time schedule or, go and seek jobs and whatnot. So a lot for Lou, he ended up taking a job, and I think that was the right choice for him. He had a great opportunity, so he did that. And Jordan was tied up with a lot of other obligations and whatnot. We ended up kind of just in a friendly way, parting ways. But everybody always says there's a lot of drama behind it, but I think it was kind of just the thing that made sense, and everybody was kind of on the same page. We have a new bassist and a new keyboardist. The keyboardist is Dan Prokop. He actually graduated from Westminster, and I used to play in his band, Spring Hill, way back when. That's one of the first bands I played in, so it was kind of cool. He just, we started playing together and we kind of joined on. And then our bass player, he's an older guy. His name is Jim Murhut, and he actually taught me how to play guitar forever ago, so he was my guitar teacher a long time back, and sat in on a few shows, and just kind of bloomed from there, and we said, hey, we want to keep doing this, and he's been making it work. So.
JD talks about his favorite song on the new album and explains why it's his favorite.
Lately I've been, I feel really strongly about a song called Feel the Rain. It's just kind of a personal one for me.
JD also mentions that his success is highly due to his major and going to Westminster College.
Definitely, yeah. I had a major in music and business. It was kind of an interdisciplinary major, so I got a little bit of both, which is great. So kind of helps me keep all of our business elements in line, and at the same time I have some musical background and training as well.
It seems that JD is doing rather well for himself. His band is getting really good offers, and he seems really happy with where he is right now. This is Jeff Klein for the County Line.
For decades, Westminster College has brought a beautiful combination of music and worship to the campus and community. The County Line's Alyssa Hanna takes us inside a particularly special group who specialize in both, the gospel choir.
These students have something to sing about. They are part of the Westminster College Gospel Choir. The choir's beautiful combination of music and worship can be heard even outside the doors of the Wallace Memorial Chapel. And inside you will find college students singing, smiling, and praising God. Director James Manny Henderson, or Manny as he is commonly known as, is involved in numerous churches and worship teams around the area. He has proudly directed the choir for the past 7 years.
I get to interact with such great students, build relationships, and I get to do what I love to do, and that's praise God through song.
The choir is very unique because of its different style of worshiping and the fellowship between its members.
My favorite parts are the people. I love how smiley everyone is and how much they love to be here and how into the songs you can get. It's a blast.
As Josh Caldwell points out, the choir is always looking for new members to join in on the fun.
The bigger that our group gets, the louder we are, and sometimes, it's an awesome feeling to have when you're an audience watching us. We could always use a lot more guys. There's only usually between 2 and 5 of us throughout the year, and the more guys we get, the more awesome we sound. So.
Gospel choir doesn't actually use any sheet music. Manny teaches each individual vocal section their part of the song. Watch how they put it all together to create a beautiful harmonic melody. Alyssa Little says Manny's own musical talents may surprise you as well.
Manny Henderson is a wonderful, wonderful person. He can't actually read music, but he plays piano like you wouldn't believe. You would never know by the way he plays and how it sounds that he can't actually read the music. He can tell what the chords are. He knows what the chords are and everything, but it's just so amazing. It's so beautiful when he plays, and it's just so amazing. He's a great director, too, because he's very patient with us, and he jokes around with us. He treats you like family, and it's just awesome.
The choir travels to churches all over the area to perform their music, which also creates a valuable learning experience.
Gospel choir kind of enhances what I've already learned, if that's what you want to call it, because we go into different denominational churches, and we pretty much get to see which, the way that every different denomination praises God.
All members agree that gospel choir has played an essential role in strengthening their faith while in college.
This is a lot different because I got more involved, and everyone takes a part. It's not just 1 or 2 people leading. It's not just a few people here and there. It's every single person. So it's actually really strengthened my faith, and I love it.
Coming to gospel choir practice every Thursday was just a blessing, and it was so fantastic, and it just really strengthened my faith. Because I do get that chance to sing, and that's how I worship God, is through song and through singing.
It's encouraging to see young people praising and worshiping God, because it's not every day that you get to see that, and it's genuine because they don't have to be here. It's encouraging that when I come through the doors for rehearsal, that they're here, so that kind of lifts me up.
In New Wilmington, I'm Alyssa Hanna for the County Line.
The gospel choir meets every Thursday evening at 7 in the Wallace Memorial Chapel. Anyone is welcome to join them in their praises and singing to God.
Coming up next on the County Line, we take you into the world of Titantown sports with hosts Ryan Johnson and Jordan Greer.
And later, we'll find out where the Italian food is not only delicious, but also homemade. Stay tuned for more County Line.
liberal arts work at Westminster College. Westminster graduates have a 96% placement rate. They have developed the skills needed to succeed in any field. That's what makes the liberal arts so powerful and flexible. Experience success the Westminster way.
Hi, I'm Dan McDevitt, a father, a husband, Army retiree, and a student at Westminster College. It was nice finding a college so close to home with high academics, was going to put me in the job market right after graduation. If I was to tell another adult student why to come to Westminster, I'd tell them for the academics, the one-on-one personalization they'll get with their instructor, the small classroom experience. I know with this college degree, it's going to open a lot of doors for me. My kids are supportive of me going back to college. When I get good grades, they're all happy. They're like, way to go, Dad.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the final edition of the spring semester of Titantown Sports. I'm Ryan Johnston.
And I'm Jordan Greer. Coming up on this week's show, we take a look at what the football team has been doing to prepare for next season, and we do a review of spring sports.
The Titan football team's first game for the 2011 season will be on September 3rd against Hiram at 7 p.m. at Bury Stadium. This game will be the second night game in school history. Their first conference game will come in the third week of the season at Grove City at 7 p.m. The Titans are looking to improve on last year's 1-6 record in the pack. They've been hard at work this spring preparing for the start of next season. The football team will report to camp for the 2011 season on August 12th.
I don't know about you, Ryan, but I think the football team has enough quality players to win the conference title next year.
You know, Jordan, I think they could do that with all the talent they have returning. And from my own personal knowledge, they have been working hard this spring to improve on last year's record.
I would predict the Titans will finish with an 8-2 record overall next year and bring home the PAC title.
I would say that's pretty good.
The baseball team has surpassed 20 wins for this season. This is the 7th 20-win season in team history. The softball team is looking to continue a history of success. They have 25 winning seasons in the past 28 years, and they are on pace for another winning season with only a few games remaining.
For this week's Titan Extra Point question, we have a history question about Westminster College sports.
In what year did the sports teams at Westminster College become known as the Titans? The answer when we come back.
You can make a difference at Westminster College. Westminster has earned the nation's highest honor for community service for 3 straight years. Classroom lessons are put into action to benefit the community. Experience service the Westminster way.
Welcome back to Titantown Sports. The answer for this week's question is 1926.
The teams became known as the Titans after a sports writer for the student newspaper The Holcat nicknamed the basketball team the Towering Titans. Titantown sports reporter Marshall Capelli has taken a look at the new weight room facilities here at the college and what benefits they provide to Westminster athletes.
Down on the fieldhouse on Westminster's campus, athletes work on perfecting their bodies for their respective sport. Westminster Sports is one of the finest weight rooms in the PAC, and recently the athletic department added new equipment. Westminster football team strength and conditioning coach Scott Coy tells us more.
The new equipment's called a multi-purpose platform. The idea behind it is we can get many lifts done on one platform. Before we had 3 separate benches, 3 separate squat racks, and 3 separate power claim platforms, and now we have these multi-use racks that can do all 3 lifts. So we can get 6 people to do a lift instead of just the 3 before.
The multi-purpose platforms have been extremely beneficial to the football team this year, making workouts more efficient.
This is the first year we've had this new equipment. We got it in the fall, right before we all came to training camp. And I got to tell you, in my years here, this new equipment has helped us. It's been more beneficial. We've been able to get a lot more accomplished because in years past, we've had different stations, different equipment set up at each. And with the amount of people, it was hard to move from station to station and get all your lifts done in the hour, 15 minutes that we lift. And this new equipment allows us to be more efficient, allows us just to stay in one place, but move from lift to lift, and we're able to just get our lifts in and be done in a reasonable amount of time.
The new equipment has allowed the football team to work out more efficiently, but they are not the only people making use of the multi-purpose platforms.
Absolutely, there's a lot of people in here that use the equipment, very similar to what the football guys do. A lot of people come in here and work out on their own, and if we have football workouts come in during the afternoon when there are other students in here, they have the opportunity to still be able to lift, and we don't take over the whole weight room.
That's right, the multi-purpose platforms benefit many people, from varsity athletes to regular students. I'm Marshall Capelli, reporting for Titantown Sports.
Both the men's and women's track and field teams have finished the year on a strong note. At the PAC Championships, the men's team won its first ever PAC title with a team total of 129 points. The women's team was looking for their fourth consecutive PAC championship. However, they came up short, finishing second to Washington and Jefferson with 146 points.
The men's tennis team took third place at PAC Championships, and they posted their highest finish since 2008 when they finished third.
We here at Titantown Sports would like to wish all the sports teams good luck for the remainder of their seasons.
We would also like to thank everyone that has been involved in Titantown Sports this year.
Be sure to tune into Titan Radio 88.9 and WCN 24/7 for continuing coverage and live broadcasts of Westminster Athletics. We will return in the fall semester. Don't touch that dial just yet. The County Line has more coming up next. I'm Ryan Johnston.
And I'm Jordan Greer. Good night, sports fans.
The liberal arts work at Westminster College. Westminster graduates have a 96% placement rate. They have developed the skills needed to succeed in any field. That's what makes the liberal arts so powerful and flexible. Experience success the Westminster way.
Hi, I'm Dan McDevitt, a father, a husband, Army retiree, and a student at Westminster College. It was nice finding a close to home with high academics, was going to put me in the job market right after graduation. If I was to tell another adult student why to come to Westminster, I'd tell them for the academics, the one-on-one personalization they'll get with their instructor, the small classroom experience. I know with this college degree, it's going to open a lot of doors for me. My kids are supportive of me going back to college. When I get good grades, they're all happy. They're like, way to go, Dad.
Well, that's the news for tonight, and that concludes our final episode for this semester.
You can always check in at WCN247.com for your latest campus and community news. Lee, it's been a pleasure working with you.
Hazel, it's been a pleasure working with you too. Good luck on your future endeavors.
Good luck
there
in the job
in
market
the
there, Lee.
tumultuous workforce. Good night, everyone.